I have brought so many things with me and haven't bought any tools for a long time. I heard that Wix has recently launched the second generation of electric screwdrivers. Let's experience it today and see what's inside. Here are 27 heads of various specifications, basically covering all kinds of screws commonly seen on the market. The two rows on the top are mainly used to screw in relatively large screws. The heads in the row below are used to screw in smaller screws. For example, many consumer electronics or some precision instruments have relatively small screws. This is an adapter used to connect these small heads. There's also a very mini twist drill bit here. This is a 2mm twist drill. There are two longer heads below, one cross and one flat. These two are used to screw in 4 arch and 4 screws. There is also an extension rod here. This is a USB to Type-C charging cable. There is also a paper instruction manual on the lower layer of this box. Let's take a look at the details of this screwdriver. The size design of this screwdriver is very small, and the two sides are engraved. Whether it is electric or used manually as an ordinary screwdriver, it is very comfortable to use. The back is its brand name. Let's take a look at the parameters above. The model is WX 2424 volts, 5.4 watt-hours, 18650. This is the battery capacity inside. 320 revolutions per minute is its rated speed. Take a look at its operating buttons. The forward and reverse buttons of this screwdriver are separate, so there is no need to switch forward and reverse frequently. In order to prevent accidental start, a mechanical switch to prevent accidental touch is also designed here. After the switch is turned on, press the forward and reverse buttons and the left knife will rotate. There are 3 indicator lights here. When the switch is turned on, the current battery power can be displayed. The front of the screwdriver is used to adjust the mechanical torque. There is a total of 7 gears of torque adjustment, which can be suitable for different operating scenarios. The torus bureau is generally used to tighten some smaller screws, such as disassembly of digital products or repair of products like mobile phones, etc. Larger torque is generally suitable for tightening some larger screws or places that require a certain neck strength. In front of the twist adjustment ring, there is a circle of LEDs with a total of 4 LEDs. When you press the forward and reverse buttons again, the LED will light up. It can meet the needs of operations in various dark environments, and the fill light will automatically go out after a delay of 15 seconds. Let's take a look at the chuck part in the front. The chuck here uses a magnetic design like most electric screwdrivers, but there is also a very clever design here. If the screw is very tight, sometimes the head may be stuck in the screw. After installing the head, gently press down so that the head can be firmly locked in it, so that there is no way to pull it out directly. It can effectively prevent the head from falling off. The stability and safety of use are very high. If you want to remove the head, you only need to gently push the structure forward so that the head can be easily taken out. This is a very, very clever design. After understanding its function, let's take it apart and take a look at the structure inside. There are a total of 2 screws on it. Remove these 2 screws first. The back is the type the charging port button structure of C needs to be pushed out from the front as a whole. Remove the switch at the anti-mistake position. This position should be fixed by a buckle. Finally, this circle of structure is removed. The torque adjustment ring is stuck on it through these 3 plastic hook grooves. By rotating this thing, you can adjust different torques. This is an acrylic soft light plate that is put on these 4 LEDs and plays a fluorescent role. There is a spring sheet here. This spring sheet corresponds to these grooves. In this way, when it is screwed to different torque positions, a certain sense of speed will be generated. In this way, the entire movement should be able to be pulled out of the shell. Before pulling it out, let's remove the forward and reverse switch first. Take a look at the structure first. The front is the mechanical part, the gearbox. These 2 connecting wires are connected to this position on the front fill light board. There are also 2 connecting wires connected to the bottom of the 3-dimensional adjustment spring. When we disassemble it later, we will study the function of these 2 wires. The middle one is it's behind the power part of the motor is the control circuit board. On the back is a 18,650 battery. Continue to disassemble and separate these parts. Now the 2 parts have been completely separated. Let's take a look at the structure of the back part first. Look at the batteries above. 18650 2,000 milliamp hours lithium battery. This is a power battery. Because the driving current of the motor is relatively large, let's take a look at the structure on the circuit board. The surface of the circuit board is painted with a layer of 3-proof paint to prevent moisture. The 4 switching tubes here are the driving motors. They form an H-bridge structure to control the forward and reverse rotation of the motor. This resistor detects the current flowing through the motor and can play a certain protective role. This is its main chip control part. That is a single-sided machine. Look at the back. There are fewer original parts on the back, mainly some resistors and 3 aluminum tubes. This is the mechanical switch produced by the house. There are 2 forward and reverse buttons. The 3 here are power indicators. This is the circuit structure. Let's take a look at the mechanical part in the front. The motor can be removed. Let's take a look at the gearbox in the front. The first set of deceleration is achieved through the row gears. The second set of deceleration is below. Further ahead is a mechanical structure similar to a one-way valve. That is, when the motor rotates, the front chuck can rotate. If the motor does not rotate, the front chuck is locked, so it can be used manually. Let's take apart the entire structure and see how the torque adjustment in the front is achieved. Now this part of the structure can be removed. There is a circle of protrusions on the top and a circle of steel balls on the bottom. The steel balls are pressed on this metal sheet, and the metal sheet is pressed up by this circle of springs. By rotating the torque adjustment ring, the more you turn it inward, the tighter the spring is pressed, and the greater the pressure on the steel balls. The protrusion on the top will normally be stuck by the steel balls. If the output shaft exceeds the set torque, the barrel will overcome the pressure of the steel balls and rotate. So if the torque exceeds when the torque is applied, you can hear a clicking sound, which is produced by this part of the structure. But why are there 2 wires welded in front of this thing? Please pay attention to where the 2 wires are welded. One of the wires is welded to this metal sheet, and the other wire is welded to here. So under normal circumstances, the spring presses the metal sheet, and the 2 parts are connected together. That is, they are conductive. If the torque exceeds the set torque, this circle of structure will push the metal sheet forward to compress the spring when it passes over the steel ball. When pushing the metal sheet, a similar movement will occur between the 2 metal structures, so the 2 contacts are separated and the circuit at the back can detect it. Therefore, when the screwdriver exceeds the photographic torque, the motor will not continue to rotate, which can protect the screws and also save electricity to a certain extent. This is the structure inside. Let's turn it over again. It turns. There are not many parts and the function is still normal. Okay, that's all for today.